Hope Channel, changing lives.
Usually, when a spouse dies from childbirth, it can be one of the most devastating periods for the man, because you experience your wife carrying the love that you guys share, literally, and God has blessed you with that child that you are looking forward to, and she has carried to term, and there's excitement waiting to see the baby so that you all can be one big family. And now it gets to the point where you are losing a wife. You know, usually it's between the wife and the child. The doctor might probably say that it's either we save your wife or we save the child. Or sometimes the wife, after delivering the baby successfully, just dies. We've seen stories of this. You'll be on social media and you see a poster and you would ask what happened. And you hear, oh, she died whilst giving birth. And I always wonder, how can the family of this person survive this very devastating situation? How can they come out of it? So the story is what? You took your wife to the hospital to have a baby and she did not come back? I cannot imagine what people go through when they are faced with this. And unfortunately, our writer is going through, no, not the writer, the writer's father actually went through this. But there have been consequences that have trickled down, a ripple effect of what happened that this writer is facing. We are going to go into the story and I'm sure you would understand better, but it's a very sad story, but I'm sure that you would learn something, because here on Real Talk we are always learning something. Welcome to another exciting episode of Real Talk here at the studios of Hope TV Ghana. My name is Evie, and today we are going to have a really interesting conversation titled A Life for a Life. Remember that we are live on Facebook and YouTube, Hope TV Ghana. So go on there, share your comments, your thoughts, whatever you think is going on. If you even have a personal story to share, we encourage that. This conversation is very interactive. So go on there and share your story. So as usual, I always have the right people for the right conversation. I find you the experts in the field, the people that are willing to have the conversation without mincing their words. They're going to tell you the truth, as painful or as difficult as it will be to swallow the pill. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce them to you. To my immediate right, I have Pastor Enoch Ejay. Pastor, good evening. Welcome to the show.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. How has your week been?
It's been quite good.
Yeah.
It's just that my week coming that there is a car that hits behind my car.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I was supposed to reach here by 11.
Oh, badly you got here.
I called. So I thought the show started.
No. We waited for you, Pastor. We waited for you. But we thank God for bringing you safely.
Yeah, at least no one got injured. So
yeah, we thank God.
Okay.
We thank God. And next to Pastor, we have a beautiful lady, Madam Esther Chiwa Opoku. She is a mental health practitioner and an addiction specialist. Welcome to the show, Madam.
Thank you.
I am sure with your profession, you have come across stories upon stories upon stories. I'm always very interested in speaking to people who do your work, because it cannot be easy.
No.
But
it's interesting.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
We thank God. We thank God. But we thank you for what you are doing. I think you are doing a great service helping the society, because mental health is still growing in Ghana. We are trying, but we are not there yet.
We'll get there.
We'll get there, yes. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to read our story, then we can have the conversation. As said, the title is A Life for a Life. Dear Real Talk, I don't remember my mother's face. I have always seen her in pictures. The woman lying in the hospital bed, smiling faintly, swollen with life, my life. That is all I have. She died giving birth to me, and from that day, my father, my only parent, never looked at me the same way others looked at their sons. I always felt it, the coldness, the silence, the empty birthday celebrations. He fed me, clothed me, paid my school fees, but he never smiled at me, never hugged me, never said he loved me. I used to tell myself, maybe he just doesn't know how to show love. Until one day when I was 17, I gathered the courage to ask him, Dad, why don't you love me? He stared at me for a long time. Then he said something I would never forget. Because you took her from me. My knees went weak. You are the reason she's gone, he continued. She died because of you. Every time I look at you, I see her dying. I see her eyes closing, her hands slipping from mine. You're a reminder of what I lost. You shouldn't have been born. I broke inside that day, but strangely, I also understood. Pain makes people hard, and sometimes people build walls out of their grief. I just didn't think I was the wall. I am older now. I am scared of getting married and losing my partner. To go through my father's experience. I am trying to forgive him, trying to heal, but I still carry the weight of being born a blessing to one person and a curse to another. This is a really, really sad story, but Pastor, what is going through your mind after hearing this story? What is your initial thoughts?
Some of the things that are actually derived from the story is that we have a grievous father who was never attended to, who never received help to get out of it. And we have a child which is battling between survivor and love.
Yeah.
He gets whatever he needed to keep him alive. But the father would head whatever he needs to feel alive. There's a difference. You can you can have everything that will keep you alive. And there are certain things you have that will make you feel alive. He didn't get that.
Wow.
And I also saw that there was a fear of repetition of history there. And that thing was also there. There was crisis of identity, whether he was born to be a curse or a gift of life, a gift that has been given to the father, or both. But there was one thing that I'm very happy about it. There was a forgiveness with that apology. And that means that there was an initiation to healing, to the healing process.
There was an initiation.
There's a point to start.
Yes, that's a point to start. I like how you have started it, Pastor. Let me come to you, Madam Esther. This story, what is going through your mind?
I see trauma.
On both sides.
On both sides. Trauma that wasn't even acknowledged in the first place.
Okay.
That has transformed to the next generation. So let's say, we say you've transferred trauma from one generation to the other generation.
Yeah. You know, when I first read the story, the first thing that I asked myself was, oh, but why is the man doing that? This boy is suffering. Then my question is, so in my mind I'm asking, yeah, I get that you lost your wife, but can you justify rejecting the child because of grief? That's what came to mind. I'll ask you, Madam Esther, is it justifiable that because of grief he's rejecting his son?
I don't want to use the word justifiable.
Okay.
Because we say it's not justifiable on the other side of the father. And on the son's side too, it's not justifiable.
Okay.
But this is a man who is grieving. This is a man who is really grieving. He lost the wife.
Yeah.
Imagine going to marry. The process you are going to go through from dating to acceptance, both family agreeing, the church would also agree, then there is a wedding.
Yeah.
And we only know the cost involved in the wedding. And after the wedding, this is my first son.
Oh.
And I lost the woman. I've lost money. I've lost my wife.
I didn't even think of it like that.
Yes, I've lost money.
Yeah.
I've lost my wife. Where am I going to start from? And if my wife didn't go to give birth, on the other side, my wife would be alive.
True.
So the man has a justification for that. And on the side of we, the people who live with the man, in the context, let's say in our country here, when a man is going through pain, nobody sees it. And I thank God we are doing this month, because this month is men's mental health.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You see, it's not even popular. We don't even know.
You don't even know. This is men's mental health. Their mental health also what matters, because they are the head. So if their mental health is not doing well, everybody will not do well.
True. True.
You lost your wife. People will say, we are Bema, so you have green blood. So you were not being attended to. Emotionally, psychologically. Everybody comes and pat you. We are Bema, Then another group will come. And that is it. Supposing it was a woman, that woman can even get a relative that will sit with her, stay with her for like a year or two to go through all those emotional stages from denial through to acceptance. So this man has been in denial throughout these 17 years.
He didn't move from the stages.
He didn't even move from the stage because he's like, if my wife didn't go to give birth, she would be alive. Maybe even if he didn't have a child, we could adopt. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
And maybe we'll be praying together for a child. And
she'll be there.
She'll be there. And we don't know the kind of connection both of them were having.
Yeah.
So the man has a justifiable case. But on the other hand, we can also blame the man. Because he lost the wife. He lost money. Supposing he went for money to even do this wedding, that loan he hasn't finished paying, and the wife died. And you think he will be fine with this boy? He's not even a girl that he would even look like
the mother.
Then maybe the man would find solace. This is a man. And you know men, when even on a normal day that a child is developing and is a man, at a certain stage, when they get to a certain stage, we say, let's say Maslow had a hierarchy of needs. When they get to a stage whereby this boy will even see the father as a competition. They'll be competing over the mother. Are you getting it? The Oedipus complex will set in. So the man has a justifiable case in one way.
It's deeper than we
It is deeper than we are saying. So we will say in a way he's not at fault.
Pastor, anything to add to that before I ask you your
let's say, what I want to say is that I think the grief can explain the father's emotional shutdown. But it cannot necessarily justify the rejection
of the child.
Because we believe children are heritage from God, as the Bible said in Psalm 127 verse 3. They are heritage from God. And children they deserve to be loved, they deserve to get all the necessary things they are supposed to get, irrespective of how they entered this world. And if you are to assess both cases, you could see that even though the father, you cannot say that what the father was going through was not bad. It was very bad. And if you are to put yourself into his shoe, you can feel the weight of it. Looking at how he was narrating it to the child, how he sees the child, he sees the process in which he lost the wife. But then you have to also understand that this child also grew up only seeing a picture of the mother who was on the hospital bed. He didn't see that. He didn't see the mom. He has friends who were getting a lot of love from their mothers, and he could behold it. He goes to schools and he see all those ones. So the child is also already going through that challenge of not having a mother. So we're expecting that at least that child can also get enough love from the father, so that even if he remembers the death of the mother, because of the love that the father has shown, she will not remember in maybe pain or something. But this child trying to fathom why he doesn't have a mother, then trying to also understand why he's not getting love from the father is also a big challenge to that child. So I believe that we can understand the father through the grievous aspect, but we can't necessarily say that
it's
justified for rejecting that child.
Let's look at the psychological effects on the child. We will come to the man, but Madam Esther, the long-term psychological effects on the child who grows up feeling unloved by their parents, and not just unloved, but now working with the knowledge that you are the reason why your mother is dead, and that is the reason why your father will never love you?
There's a whole serious, significant psychological effect on that child. That child is lacking a mother's love. And he's also lacking a father's confidence.
Oh.
He's lacking both. After lacking both, he's even the source of the father's predicament. That is a whole weight on the child, making the child believe, am I cursed? Was I even ready to be born? Maybe I shouldn't have been born. This child is going to go through a lot growing up, as Pastor was saying, going to school, no mom, no dad to come and confide in. And we are even lucky at 17, he hasn't even joined the street, because he'll be going to look for such confidence and that emotional support from the street. Because a lot of people have gone to the street to smoke because of this connection, lack of this connection. Because I have a client who tells me at 14 years, then he started smoking. Even the family didn't realize it. All because the people he saw as mother figures, they married and they left the house. So he lost that connection. So he finds solace in even using drugs. So this is all some of the things that this guy is going to go through. And the heavy blow is when the father is even expressing that if it wasn't for you, your mom would have been what? Alive. Would have been alive. And unfortunately, that conversation should have been done earlier when the woman died. If the man had access to even a counselor or a pastor and was even given the room to share what he was going through, it would have been solved. But he wasn't given that opportunity. So this child is going to go through a lot. Getting into a relationship would be difficult for him. Because I'm also going to go into a relationship, get married, my wife will go and give birth, and my wife will die.
He may not even want to.
He may not even want to. How do I get into a relationship? Am I going to get into a relationship and be very vulnerable? It's like I'm cursed. Because it's not coming from anybody. But like your father. As you have been reading the Bible, it just sounds so many kata ne banaso. But this time around, jana yin so na eden. Every ne banaso, and on ne bana kontokwa. And to this boy is really going through hell. Emotionally, he's not stable. Psychologically, he's not stable. He's not even going to be able to know how to relate with a woman. Because it was the mother that he would have learned that thing from. And going through the story, I don't even think the man even got to marry again.
It doesn't sound like
the man got married again. This boy would have even used the stepmother as a mother. So this boy has his whole life messed up.
That's sad.
That he needs to also go for counseling and be taken through things gradually for healing to take place, for bonding to even take place between son and father. So both of them need counseling.
We will come to how we can help them, but Pastor, I wanted to ask you, so this man who has gone through this, in your opinion as a pastor and as a church, what could have been done to manage his grief for it not to get to this extent?
I think the church as a whole has to understand how men also operate, and there's a need to understand men as well. Sometimes we used to say that men lack emotions, but I believe that men do not lack emotions. But men lack the permission to express their emotions. It is the permission, because let's say if it is a woman, as soon as she tries to cry, people will come and they will try to console her. They will speak words of encouragement and everything too. But for a man, as soon as you start to express your emotion, they will be shutting you down. They will be saying a whole lot of things. You are the man. You have to stay strong so that the other people can look up to you, especially when there are children, when there are other relatives and stuff. You are the man. You have to act strong. Meanwhile, the man will be dying inside. So I believe that this is what the church should do. You know, most of the times we have something we call like a postpartum counseling for women and stuff. I believe that when a man, there's like a case like this, when a man loses his wife during childbirth, there should be that counseling for that man too as well. We should not see vulnerability as weakness. Vulnerability is about accepting the fact that I have hurt.
Yeah.
Accepting the fact that I have lost something great. You might not know what that woman was into that man's life.
Yeah.
She might be his sense of direction, his everything.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he loses that. You could clearly see that the man did not find replacement too, because if there was a replacement who could meet, no, maybe this wouldn't have happened. So I think the church should also take that into consideration, and not only to go there and try to speak, but yes, we know that God helps. So when we pray, we believe that God is going to heal the soul. But you should understand that therapists are also there.
Yes.
To help us understand who we are.
True.
So that we can respond to certain things. So I think church should take that thing into consideration and take necessary steps. That after we speak words of encouragement, trying to give all the Bible quotations to that person, what are the necessary steps that we can take you can put in place to make sure that this man will also move from this trauma.
That's true. That's true. Madam Esther, how can, what are some of the resources out there that will help a man going through such a traumatic experience?
Okay, let's say, as Pastor was saying, the church is one. The church can help through various forms of prayers, encouragement, picking Bible quotations that fit the situation to encourage him. Another part is allowing this man to express everything that is going through. He should express it without fear or favor. As Pastor was saying, men are not given the permission to express their feelings. If they need to cry, they have to cry. They have to cry. Men also cry. Men also have emotions. They have red blood. They are human. Yes, so we shouldn't be pushing them to always be strong. And when you express your weakness, it takes strength to do that. It's not a weakness. It's strength to be able to say, I have this problem. It's a very big strength.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't mean you are vulnerable. It doesn't mean you are weak. And crying, a man crying doesn't mean weakness. At a point in time, you have to cry. And let's say there are therapies available. We have one theories that will say, I think it's by Albert Ellis. He says rational emotive behavior. So it's not the situation that is giving you these bad consequences or this thing, but it's your belief around what is happening. Are you getting it? Because let's say it happened, the woman could have died even without childbirth.
True.
Something could have been done that this woman would die through childbirth. We have women dying right after marriage. Even some people on the day of the marriage, they passed away. So it had nothing to do with the child. And in such cases, sometimes we see the child being a cursed child. So if they have the perception that you are a cursed child, it's because you were born. That's why this woman died. Then it brings that kind of emotions, and the person will be thinking through, what kind of child did I give birth to? Why should I give birth to a child that I have to lose the mother? And even at the hospital, when it comes to saving one, we would always want to save the mother because it's the mother that is our client.
Yes.
But the baby, we don't know the baby.
And the mother, God willing, can always make another
baby. So it was just unfortunate that the woman died. But it has nothing to do with the child. And we need to take this man through these stages for him to know that this happened. But at least let's look at the brighter side. At least you didn't lose both. We have other people losing both mother and child.
True.
But at least you had one. At least you became one person without a wife. But at least you had the opportunity to be a father. And have a son. to which that love that you were giving to the woman, you can transfer it to that child, and both of you will bond very well and do great things in honor of the woman, so that wherever that woman is, will see that, oh, my child is doing well, and my husband is also doing well. So it's not about the event that happens, but your belief around the event that happens that causes this consequence.
Yeah.
So if he was given the opportunity to voice out as at that time, to cry, to do everything, people standing in for him, to bury, because it's that same man that we are going to take money from to bury the wife.
Yeah.
Which is very difficult, because on the side of a woman, if it turns out like this woman will be sitting down quietly, whilst the people around will take up all the responsibilities.
True.
But on the other hand, this man is the one still going to bear the cost.
Yeah.
Why won't he be angry?
Yeah. I think I appreciate your perspective, because it has made it very clear. You know, at the first glance, your sympathy will go to the child, but it has made it very clear that it's two people suffering in this story, and no one's pain is greater than the other's pain. But regarding the seeking for help, are there any mental health like institutions or facilities in this country that we can go to? Because it looks like we are not, like you said, we clearly are not talking about it. We don't even know where to go to for help aside the church.
There's counselors all over. When you even go to our general hospitals, we have psychology centers there. Accra Psychiatric Hospital have a psychology department. When we hear psychiatric hospital, we are always looking at someone who has gone off. No.
You see, it's a misconception.
It's a misconception. We even have psychologists in the hospitals. Our general hospitals are having, psychiatric hospitals are having. When you are even looking for help, you can seek a psychologist who can even see you personal.
Yeah.
So that you'll be able to voice out and they would be able to help you. At least that would be a safe environment for the man to cry. It will be a very safe environment for the man to voice out everything and every perception he is having about the event.
Yeah.
Then we also give the child the opportunity to express what he is feeling. Let him know that, no, who cares for the caregiver? Your father was grieving. As a consequence, you also suffered.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, maybe you are giving counseling to your father. So you also have the opportunity to also forgive your father as he has done already. And let him know that the fact that your mother died doesn't mean your wife is also going to do what? Die. Because in the story, the guy is afraid that the wife will also die. No.
Yes.
Your wife will also not die through childbirth. And the people who die through childbirth are less. If you have 100 people dying now, there's even reduction.
Yeah, mortality.
There is much reduction in losing. Maternal mortality has dropped.
Yeah, it has.
Because we have a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
Now you don't even need to push by force. You can opt for CS.
Yeah.
At first we didn't know. Because we even have women who have a pelvic of a man. And they can't deliver no matter what you do. But through scans and other things, if you're able to see it early, we know you can give birth naturally. But you'll be given an opportunity to do what? A cesarean section. Are you getting it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the conception about having cesarean section has also...
But that's like a conversation altogether.
Yeah, it should reduce. We are telling them.
Yes.
That it should reduce.
Tell them.
Having CS doesn't mean you are not a woman. Okay, doesn't mean you are not a woman. I have done 3 CS, nothing has happened to me. I'm still normal, I'm working normal, I'm not sick. Yes, I've done 3 CS, nothing has happened.
Congratulations.
I have not done any push. All the 3 are CS and I am okay. It doesn't change the fact that you are a woman.
Yeah.
But it changed the fact that God has told us He was going to give knowledge to us. So the doctors are having the knowledge that God has given them to work. It is not their knowledge, it is God's knowledge that He has impacted on them to work. So it doesn't change anything. So this man can be taken through series of things for him to know that he can get married and have a child and have a wonderful family. The father can also be taken through counseling and we'll bond them together and they would all be able to forget and move on as one big family.
I agree. Before I come to Pastor about forgiveness, I wanted to ask, what do you think is the issue with mental health? Because as I'm sitting here, when my tummy hurts and I can't manage it, I'll go to the hospital. If it's a headache, I'll go. Any part of my body, I will go. But when it comes to a brain, another part of my body that is malfunctioning, why is there so much like about it? Do you think it's our culture?
Our culture plays a role. And when we say mental health, immediately we hear mental, excuse me to say, we say abodam. Mental health is not all about abodam. If you are not emotionally stable, mentally you are not doing well.
Yes. Yes.
If you are going through certain things, mentally you are not doing well. If you are going through heartbreaks, you are not doing well. You lose a father, mother, a brother, mentally you are not doing well, and you need attention.
Yeah.
Like the same way when you have slight headache, you know you go for para.
Yes.
You're expecting that when mentally you are also not doing well, or there is grieving, you're expecting that you go to the psychologist to talk to the person. But when we talk of mental health, it's all boiled down to abodam, any bodam, any bodam. Or any I have a mental health issue. Hey, maybe I will do no. So the stigma attached to mental health is great.
Yeah.
And the stigma attached to men when it even comes to their mental health, it's also a whole conversation on another day. As Pastor was telling me, he doesn't even know June.
I didn't
it's
even
men
know.
mental health.
But the best, I didn't even know. You see what I say about learning on this show? I had no idea until you came here and said June is men mental health.
Yes. So your mental health matter. The men, their mental health, that's what matters. So I'm happy you are doing this conversation.
Yeah.
It matters.
Yeah.
Because as you said at the beginning, immediately you read the story.
Yes.
You are going to push all the blame to the man.
Yeah.
But that man wasn't even taken care of. He wasn't taken care of.
Exactly.
So, we push them to do that. So that they also go there to find solace.
Yeah.
Because nobody will listen to them.
True. And he wasn't taking care of. How can he take care of somebody else?
Exactly.
Pastor, forgiveness. You see, the boy knows, he has a little understanding of what has happened. But in this situation, he would have to let go so he can move on. From the story, I didn't know if his father had passed because I didn't get the end of the relationship, how they still are. But in your opinion, how can he forgive his father for hurting him even unintentionally? Because he looks like he's holding on to a lot of hurt and grief, because he's saying that I don't even want to marry. If I go and marry at this point and my wife gets pregnant, she may also die. So he hasn't moved on. He's stuck in it, and his father too is stuck in whatever situation that he found himself after his wife died. How can they both move on, especially with forgiveness?
Oh, okay. So in this case, we are trying to see, we are trying to look at it whether the father is even alive.
Yes, because
or not.
I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay.
So I believe that forgiveness in this context is not about excusing what happened.
Okay.
But it's about choosing freedom. It is the child understanding that her father cruelty or his father attitude towards him is not as a result of hate. It's not the father hate him. That's why he did it. But because the father is broken. Why? The child is not the cause of the mother's death. But then the father has associated the death of the mother to that of the child.
Yeah.
So when she tried to remember how his wife passed away, it is in the context of how this child came into this world. That is what it's associated with. So the child should understand that what the father said does not necessarily mean he's the cause, but just that in his mind, he has associated the death of the mother to the child. So I believe that when the child is able to understand in this way, she'll be able to release the poison in his mind towards the fact that maybe his father is not loving enough. And I believe he'll be able to do away with that.
Yeah.
And I believe from the father's side too.
Will you even say forgive? Like the boy will say, I didn't really do anything, but in his eyes, he thinks he's the cause of his wife's death. So how can he let go of that feeling?
So in the same way, the father should know that the child is not the cause. If you look at the story, it was the father was trying to say the child is the cause.
Yes.
The child is not the cause. The child mirror how the wife passed away. So we should know that the child is just associated with the death of the wife, but the child is not the cause of the death. The child knew nothing. He was an innocent child who came into this world.
Yeah.
He was just caught in. So I think the father should understand it that way. I believe that forgiveness here is that I'm not going to allow the pain to define my identity. That is the forgiveness you are talking about here. So you could see that maybe we had a loving father when the child was no more, when the child had not yet come into the scene.
I'm sure he was doting on the wife's
If you look at a
pregnancy.
father who is so angry, so devastated just because the wife passed away, means that he shows so much love to the wife, meaning he was a good man. But now because of this, now he's giving a different picture to the child, which may not necessarily be the original version of that man. So the man shouldn't allow the pain to define his identity. He had his own identity. He should go back for it. That is who he really is. This is just a circumstance. And as a matter of time, it will pass away. And when it comes to the child too, the child shouldn't allow the pain of not getting enough love from the father also define his identity. You could see that the child sees something wrong. What it means, that's not the child's real identity. If the child doesn't see anything wrong, then he will understand that, okay, we have to give people silent treatment. We don't have to care about people. That is what I'm used to. My father don't care about me. There's no birthday wishes. There's no hug. So that is how this world is. That child will be living with it like that. But since the child sees something wrong, meaning that is not that child's identity. So that child shouldn't allow what is going on between him and his father to find his identity. He should choose freedom. And the freedom is that I'm letting it go so that I be myself.
I completely agree. We'll have to go for a quick break. When we come back, we will continue with the story. We will look at, we've already spoken about therapy, but we'll go deep into it and see how therapy can help them so well. And also the science that a parent is unknowingly harming their child. And in this case, should they have taken the boy away from the father as he was going through this and be cared for by another member to save him from the reality of what the father was going through? Would that have been a better outcome to the problem? We'll be right back. This is Real Talk. Do not go anywhere.
In northern Ghana, thousands lack the medical care they need daily. But this August, hope is coming. From August 2nd to 9th, the Healing Hearts Health Mission is coming to Tamale, and it's free. General surgeries, eye operations, dental treatments, hepatitis B screening, and more. This is a mission of healing and hope, but we can't do it without you. We are calling on sponsors, volunteers, and kind hearts to help us serve. To be a part of this powerful outreach, call 0249 193 083 or send Momo to 0249 193 083. The Healing Hearts Medical Mission is brought to you by Hope Channel Ghana in partnership with United Service to Africa, the Liver Cancer Foundation, Ghana Adventist Health Service, and the Adventist Church. Hope starts here.
Hope Channel is my favorite Christian channel. The best thing about it is that you can have it everywhere you go. All you need to do is to download the Hope Channel app on your Play Store or Apple Store and get all the programs you want to watch.
Welcome back from that quick break. We are still in the studios of Hope TV Ghana having this very difficult conversation, and we are talking about mental health in general. But the story that brought up this conversation has to do with a man who lost his wife when giving birth to their child. And unfortunately, the man did not get the right avenue to grieve, and he did not get the right help to also heal from this painful experience. And so he lashed out at the child that he has now, blaming him for the death of his wife and not showing any care or love. He did his job by providing for him school fees, clothes, whatever, but he withdrew love because he believed that the child was the cause of his wife's death, which is the boy's mother. And we have been having the conversation with Madam Esther Opoku. She is a mental health practitioner and also an addiction specialist, and Pastor Enoch Ajay. And if you just joined, you've missed a bit, but it's a good time to join because we are still learning more. Okay, so Madam Esther, the man at this point has spent so many years. I'm sure he didn't even get to enjoy the life that he should have. He spent so many years feeling the hate, feeling the pain, just doing automatic things for the boy. Okay, I'll pay your school fees, I'll give you this, I'll give you that. And now the boy asked him, why are you doing this? And he answered, that's because I think you are the cause of my wife's death. But do you think in this situation, if they had physically removed the boy as a baby when it happened out of the man's presence, would it have made a difference?
It could have made a difference.
Okay.
Maybe for the boy, maybe let's say either the father's sister or the mother's sister could have just adopted this boy and take care of this boy. And maybe taking care of this boy with love, and maybe the son not being around him, that kind of, let's say, separation would have maybe helped a lot.
Okay.
Because this boy is always the father. So supposing he was taken away from him, maybe he would come and see the child. You know, when someone is very close to you, you don't get to feel the importance of the person.
Yeah.
But when the person is separated from you for a time, you know, I have a son, you go and pick your son, go play with your son. Are you getting it? You'll be getting feedbacks from the one taking care of the son. Oh, your son is not doing well today. Your son did well in school. So it would be like a reported speech. Maybe that would have given space to the man to heal, or even be able to enter into a new relationship and start letting this. He will just suppress that one because he will not get the chance to talk about it. So he will suppress it and be in a relationship. And maybe through that, he would have healed some way and wouldn't have even transferred the problem to the boy. And the boy would have gotten a mother's love from maybe the mother's sister or the father's sister who takes care of that child.
Yeah.
And be able to even experience a family, a full family from that end. So maybe it could have helped. It is a two-way something. It could have helped. If that person is not a good person, this child would also go through where he will not feel loved by a woman who is not the mother. So it would have been two sides of the story.
Yeah.
I always don't want to be on the side of maybe something different could have happened. Something different would not have
happened to. It's
happened.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah, very possible.
Are you getting it?
Yeah.
It's like a client telling me, if I didn't do this, maybe by now see where my colleagues are. And I said, fine. You've seen your colleagues who are doing well. What of those who didn't even go into drugs, but they are still not doing well? Yeah. Life happens in so many different ways. Whether you like it or not, life will happen to you. We need to be understanding that thing gradually from a point. Life does happen. You don't choose what happens to you.
Yeah.
Nobody chooses what happens
At
to
all.
you.
We would all choose good.
We would all choose good. As Pastor was saying, someone hit the car.
Yes.
Did you plan that one?
No.
So all of a sudden, if you got hurt, you were hurt.
No.
If you got hurt, it has already happened.
Yeah.
Are you getting it?
Yeah.
By now, we would have been crying. Your leg will be good, and by now, you'll be working differently. So life has so many ways of happening.
Yeah.
So maybe the boy would have thought, if my mother was to be alive, this wouldn't have happened if my mother wasn't to be, a whole lot of scenarios that maybe if your mother was to be alive, it could have been that there would be so many marital issues that you even get to enjoy both of them.
Yeah. True. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
That's true.
But maybe if he had a chance to go, at least he would experience a woman taking care of him, and it would have been better.
Yeah.
That would be our point, but it doesn't mean automatically it could have happened.
Yeah. That's
So as you were saying earlier, whatever happened has happened. We don't choose what happens to us. As you always say, wahala no dey finish. Wahala no dey finish. So as he's able to even grow up, the man did some work.
Oh,
we should give him that credit.
He did.
He was even able to grow up and even realize there is a problem.
Yes. Yes.
Someone wouldn't have even realized there is a problem.
Yeah.
He would have picked it as, that's how my father is behaving, so I also behave that way. But this one was able to pick up that, no,
This is not okay.
this is not okay. I'm not being loved here. For him to even go and ask the question, it means the man did some work. That needs to be credited.
Yeah. 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 That's true. Like Pastor said from the beginning, he did everything he could to make the boy survive. He just didn't give him what he could
Make him
feel alive. Exactly. But Pastor, let's say the man is alive, since it wasn't very clear. Can their relationship be restored? And if it can, what are the steps that they both have to take to get to restoration?
I think the restoration is possible.
Okay.
Just that, as you said, there are steps that they need to go through. I believe that there should be the point where they are able to name the pain. The father should be able to express how painful the situation is and how it has affected him. The child should be able to also give the opportunity to express how not getting enough love from the father has also tormented him.
Yeah.
If the father needs to accept responsibility that the child does not deserve that, even though he didn't know because it was intentional, the child didn't deserve that. If there's a need that the father also accept that responsibility, I think that will also work. And I believe that there should be, like we have made mention of therapy.
Yeah.
I think it really helps. And I believe in our churches, we should be having such expertise in our churches, so that at the end of the day, when issues like this happen, they can be able to restore. So I believe that it is possible. It is possible. As we pray that God will be able to at least heal them, so we can also bring on board the therapy to also help them, so that they'll be able to understand each other. When you understand me, why I did that, it's easy for you to forgive me.
Yeah.
The same way when you understand me, I'm able to forgive you. So when there's a therapy, I believe they will have intense communication, and that communication will bring about. So sometimes the child will even feel the pain of the father. The father will even feel the pain of the child. Two of them will begin to console each other by the time you realize they're together. So I believe that it is possible, and I pray that the guy who is going through that will have that experience, so that he can have the loving father he has been hoping for. Yeah.
But Master, do you think it's possible? You think too many things have happened and too much time has passed?
Oh, no. Restoration is very possible.
Okay.
Restoration is possible. They both need treatment. So you take both of them through therapy for them to go through their grieving processes and reconnect them back. It is possible. If they're able to accept each other, that nobody did this deliberately. We all went through life. Life went through us. And they can come back. And everything will be like nothing happened. Because these are experiences both of them can stand on to build their lives. These are experiences. Everybody goes through one experience or the other. So with this experience, supposing something happens in the church, this man would be able to step in and say, no, when someone loses their wife through this stage, this thing should be done. Because he has experienced it. I get it. He has experienced it. Experiencing something is different from even reading. And he would even be a better teacher in that area. Give the better support, because he has felt what that person is feeling. So he, as Pastor was saying, we need resource people. He can be a resource person in that.
Yeah.
He can be, with little training, he can be a resource person in that. So that in the church, in the community, this man will be helping others. And this son would also be helping people go through what both of them went through. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
God put us through things to be able to have a purpose or do what he has for us. You don't just go through things for going through sake. You go through things to be able to help people that you are going to meet in different ways or forms.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want you to speak specifically to the society and the family, the role we have to play when trauma like this happens, like the man's family and even the woman's family when this happened. Like, what do you think are some of the roles they should have played in society, you know, especially for the man and his mental health? How could they have stepped in to, well, maybe the word is not lessen the pain, but to make it more manageable for the man?
First of all, they could have gotten much closer, allow this man to grieve, ask him questions, ask him how he is feeling. This part of the world, I want to say a yeah, doesn't mean anything. Are you really okay? What has happened? Do you want to say something about it? Maybe in the initial stages, he would say no. But as we keep on having conversations, you realize that he might step in to say something, and you pick it up. And how do I say it? And encourage the person. You don't give advice.
Yeah.
You encourage the person through it, or you ask the person, so right now, what do you think you want to do? How are we going to go about things? You step in for the person to help the person. We don't normally step in. We just go and say, that's what we normally do. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Then even if your pastor is coming home, we want to say who the ato will know. When it's close to you, you see whether it is not like that. You are feeling it. And it needs to be addressed. You need to get the people close to you. Talk with the person for a very long time. We are individuals. Maybe you talk to me for a month and I can be okay. But maybe pastor could have taken a whole year.
Yeah.
He should be given that attention. Because through that year, maybe one day he could get the confidence to say, that is when we'll get to pick the problem up and solve it there.
Yes.
And let the person know, no, it doesn't happen like that. We all don't know our exit point. I know we have negligence and things that happens to us, but there are accidents that happens and people don't die.
Yeah.
There are just a little crash and someone dies. So we all have our exit point. So maybe that was her exit point. And at least he left you with a baby. So you didn't, we will say you didn't what? Lose all. So you could have even gotten one positive something to even let this man know that, oh, yes, we've lost your wife, but he left you with a son.
Yeah.
That we are waiting for you as a father to take care of this son. And he could have gotten all the attention he needs. The mother's side could have taken this boy and taken care of the boy. Whilst the man initially maybe supports financially, while they take care of the boy, his emotional needs, and other things. So maybe from 7, 8 years, this boy would have been old. Then we reconnect both of them together when they have all gone through the process. And they are doing well.
Get that. Pastor, speak on the behalf of the church. As a church, how do you think we should manage such situations? What are some of the things we can empower the church with to handle such situations well when it happens?
I think she touched on it a bit, and I want to maybe expand it a little. You know, when something like this happens, what we normally do is to go there and bombard the person with waters. Like he said, it is God who gives.
Yeah.
So it is God who takes.
Oh God.
And getting the fact that the person there is hurt, something deep down. You know, sometimes some of these psychological effects and the emotional trauma, we take them for granted. And that is the problem. let's say that when somebody is physically injured and there is blood coming out, we quickly take the person to the hospital. We want the person to be safe. What about the person who is bleeding inside that we can't see? It is the same as the person who is injured physically, but we don't pay attention to. What I'm trying to say is that when we go there, it's very good for us to allow the person to understand that life happens, but God is still in control. However, we should know that irrespective of the fact that the person understands that God is still in control, it has happened, the person is hurt. How do we deal with the person who is hurt? The church should not just go there one day and after we have prayed and we have given all this encouragement, then it seems that is all.
Yeah.
We leave the person to be on his own. I believe we can even dedicate people specifically for that person, that looking at the trauma and what has happened to this man. We want you to constantly be checking on him. Give us the feedback. Let's see what is happening, how is he coping. I believe that if there was something like that, I believe the issue or the problem would have been identified or rectified a long time ago for them to deal with. But because nobody cared, it is because he is a man, and that is why all this is happening. So I think the church should be more practical now, not really spiritual. Should be more practical now, so that at the end of the day we can be able to sort out. We have nurses in the church who have eyes to see a depressed person. Maybe as a pastor I may not see, but there's a nurse that when he sees you and there's something wrong, she might be able to see. We have people who have doctorate degrees in psychology and stuff. They are all in the church. There are resources that the church can put together and form a unit so that they can be taking charge of those things. And I believe that if these things are happening, you have less of these situations or these problems in the church, because they also have a work to do in the church by monitoring church members, because they know how people behave when they come to church. They know somebody when he comes to church, he talks to people, he laughs with people, but there was a certain point in time, this person is off. He comes, he sits down, he doesn't talk to anybody. These people will be able to rectify. But if you have not intentionally given people the mandate to do that, they may not take note of it. So I think the church should intentionally give people mandate to be doing that, so that at the end of the day, so that the church should be more than a preaching platform, but also a healing place for the members.
Yes, I completely agree. Unfortunately, our time is fast spent. So, Madam Esther, just 30 seconds, your final words to this boy.
I'll tell the boy to take heart, let things go, seek for help from a psychologist and get treatment. Your father was going through a lot. So this boy should also have a way of forgiving the father without an apology, so that and connect back to God. There is a connection with God that gives peace. It's only God that can give you that kind of peace in the storm. So go back to God, pray to him for healing, seek treatment from the psychologist, and I know he would be fine. And please, men, your mental health also matter. We love you. You are the head of the house. Please take care of your mental health for us.
Yes. Thank you so much. Pastor, your final word.
Okay. What I want to tell this guy is that, and to whoever may be going through the same experience, the past has already happened, but the future is brighter. You can't do anything about the past, but for the future, you can do something about it. You should let everything go. And looking at the fear of going into a relationship, he has even getting the platform to understand people. When you go into a relationship with somebody and the person is behaving some way, she will try to reason with the person, because personally he has gone through that. So I believe it is even a good platform for him to take advantage of, so that he'll be able to even succeed in his relationship.
You have heard it all from Madam Esther, who is a mental health practitioner, and Pastor Enoch J. And clearly, they have said it all. I mean, just seek therapy, the right form of therapy, and I'm sure you and your father will be well. If you need help reaching out, we can make it happen, Madam Esther. We can make it happen. You can connect with her and she'll find you the right resource people. If you need help connecting with your spiritual life as well and somebody to talk to, Pastor 2 is available. So just reach out to Hope TV and we will give their contacts to you. I'd like to say a big thank you to our panelists. I think that you guys have done justice to this story. And then it's Men's Mental Health Month. So I'm going to encourage any man to just be in tune with their mental health and seek for help when it's needed. Madam Esther kept saying this thing, it's something I'm going to take away. Your blood is not green, your blood is also red. So you need the same attention as the women also do. We'll be back same time next week with another conversation. But until then, continue to enjoy the rest of the contents on Hope TV Ghana. So please enjoy the rest of your night. And my name is Evie. See you same time next week.